NCAA is fucking. It has a lot of caffeine. Or actually, I put a lot. Yo, what up, everybody? Happy Monday to all of y'all already in here early. I appreciate it as always. Remember, I cover Raw and SmackDown for FightsATW.com, meaning we will be off by 6 o'clock Central. You know what? I might stretch it a little bit. You know, I'm tapped in today, bro. Let me tell y'all, I'm locked in today. Yo, who am I in my own ear right now? Yo, shut up, Mario. Second Mario. Chill on that IG stream. All right. Shout out everybody on IG already. Listen, I am in a very good mood. We have a shit ton of topics, so I don't have anybody planned. But you know why I don't have anybody? You want to know why I don't have anybody planned? But because tomorrow, September 30th, which happens to be my birthday, don't ask what number, and we're going to have the Jiu-Jitsu legend, the MMA submission artist, the guy that made it cool and viral to have the dope submissions before anybody knew what the fuck viral meant. That's right. Kenny K-Flow Florian will be in the building. Well, we'll be on the show, I guess, not in the building, but we'll be live with us remote. He has one of the best combat sports podcasts on radio today, obviously, or on the airwaves today. Him and Anik have done a really good job of, being ambassadors of the sport, like from within the UFC, but like outside of the UFC, you know what I mean? And those are important roles, especially now. And listen, I sent him a list of the questions and I told him straight up, like, whatever you don't want to talk about, you let me know. We won't talk about it. And he wants to smoke. He wants all the smoke. He's ready to have an honest conversation. And as am I, journalist to journalist, because if you don't know, Kenny Florian has absolutely become one of the premier transition guys from competing to the other side. And so yeah, it's going to be interesting to talk. We're going to talk a lot about, what's coming up and stuff in MMA. We're also going to talk about, Crawford and Canelo. I was supposed to have him the week of that fight. So there was like a lot of questions that I had for him about that. He was covering it too. So, at the end of the day, a lot of those questions are old now, but I've revamped them, and one of the things that I want to talk to him about tomorrow is pound for pound. While I know nobody likes to have that conversation, the conversation I actually want to have is, what is the difference between pound for pound in MMA and boxing? What do you look for when it comes to pound for pound in MMA in a fighter versus a boxer, right? And so we're going to have that conversation. What are the aspects of a pound for pound artist today, or mixed martial artists today on the pound for pound, top of the pound for pound list? Like, what does he look like today? Versus like in boxing, what do they look like today? Like for example, like there was once upon a time where boxer pound for pound meant, you were one of the more flashier guys. Maybe you had crazy power, you scored like crazy knockdowns, no lookers type stuff, right? Maybe you were just like threw a lot of punches or whatever. It's changed a lot in boxing. It's changed a lot. What the criteria you look for in pound for pound. And it always changes. One week you're going to have people say that heavyweights don't belong on a pound for pound list, and the next week you're going to have people put, guys like Tyson Fury up there. But listen, we're going to try to stay like in context today. Okay. I don't want to venture off. Hold up. Wait. I just had them. All right. This is going to suck without my glasses. He can't see without his glasses. Jesus Christ. Oh, here they are. I knew I had them. Fuck, that is so bright. In case you're just tuning in, no, I'm not a douchebag. The lights are so bright, I literally have to wear my brand new shades that I got on Amazon for like $13. They were like $27, and I waited and they were 13. So, good deal for me. But listen, we're going to talk a lot. We have a lot of wrestling, more wrestling than anything. But the big topic today is going to be Zuffa boxing. We're going to talk about Dana White. If you didn't know, he had a 60-minute oh shit, you know what? Let me just I forgot to put that on the promo list for tonight's show. Let me just retweet that we're going to go live on the Dana dumb shit. Sorry guys. I promise one day I'm going to be like real like good at this. But not today. Not today. Yo, I lost followers after fighting with that dude yesterday. All right. Let's see. Does you think 60 minutes has a hashtag? Oh, it does. Wow. That's not okay. Okay, so yeah, if you didn't see it yesterday or you missed it, or you haven't seen it from this morning, all the clips, Dana White was on 60 Minutes last night. If you're an MMA fan, you're probably pissed off about some of the things he said. If you're a boxing fan, you're probably really confused by some of the things he said. Like the part when he's like, yeah, I'm straight shooter. You can ask me anything. I don't need to see the questions beforehand. I'll talk to anyone. Bullshit. Sean Zattel, Ariel Helwani, Mario Munguia. No, I'm just playing. I threw myself in there. Look, dude, that's a complete fucking lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got this thing called the Ali Act. Could we ask you about that? Bro, listen, this is the thing. This isn't just a Dana meltdown show, all right, guys? I'm not going to just shit on Dana and then have everybody in boxing come up and stroke me and say, you're the best. No, I don't want that. Get away from me right now. I am a combat sports fan. I love UFC. I love MMA. I love boxing, wrestling, all of it. What I don't like is liars. What I don't like are pieces of shit promoters. Now, it's a difficult thing to do a job as a journalist today, which is probably why I don't work as much as a journalist as I used to, but it is very hard to not walk that line between sucking off the people you're covering and getting content. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. You know, I'm seeing Max Kellerman and Coppinger on a fucking DAZN podcast, and I'm like, oh shit, we lost everything. Like, it's all gone. Like, there's no actual people covering the sport. And that's why I'm also going to shit on 60 Minutes, because good fucking God, could you have called Ariel and asked him for some questions? Like, if this was a fluff piece, fine. It was a fluff piece. And yes, that's exactly what it was. It was a fluff piece. And we knew it was going to be a fluff piece, right? This was propaganda at its finest. Listen to me right now. If you're not keeping score, he fucking brought up Obama. He was like, bro, anytime Obama wants to come and kick it with the Nelk boys, like, what the fuck are you talking about, Dana? Like, trying to appeal to some fucking moderates because everybody hates you on that side. Like, oh my God, it was just so gross. But no, he is not the or he's not the only problem. 60 Minutes is a problem. Jesus Christ, 60 Minutes, man. Oh, and here's the thing. I love that show. I used to love it. I mean, I still do to a degree, but fuck, CBS sucks, dude. Like, this isn't, and by the way, this isn't political. Don't for a second think that this is about some bullshit Democrats or bullshit Republicans. Fuck both of those parties. At the end of the day, what this is about is liars. Ariel Helwani is one of the only journalists left in the biz, and he can't even get Dana on the fucking phone. All right. Sean Zettel is still waiting to hear from Dana's fucking publicist. All right. Sean, let me tell y'all right now, Sean Zettel is still in Vegas. Okay, waiting, sitting down in a chair somewhere, like, are they going to come and get me soon? Like, it's a lie to say that you're Mr. Open and you're Mr. This, and then somebody asks you an authentic question, and fine, fair. Maybe that wasn't the place for it. I wouldn't call it clout chasing. I'd call it, Sean doing his fucking job and doing it well. But at the end of the day, what it was more than anything was evasion. Evasion from the question, evasion from the truth, because the truth is the Ali Act has never been perfect. And there is a lot of really bad shit you could say about it. But when you say that shit only to take advantage of the things that it does protect, that's when we have a problem. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that's what's going on with Dana right now. I'm not saying that's what's going on with TKO or Turkey, who just, by the way, bought EA Sports. What the fuck is going on? Where is everything? Why is everything going over there? Like, is boxing even an American thing anymore? Like, I feels almost like this is the whole plan to make like the UFC the new American sport. And I don't know. I really don't. I just have way too many conspiracies going on because I'm seeing like combat sports thuggery like on CBS, right? Like, it was fine when it was just like on the Man Show, right? Like when the Golden Boy or like De La Hoya or Dana White would go and sit down with the guys from the Man Show. Maybe you're not old enough to remember that show, but it was on FS1, or maybe not, maybe Fox Sports, whatever, before they had the one. That was fine. Howard Stern, that was fine. Pre-serious Howard Stern. All of that was fine, right? But you're on fucking 60 Minutes, bro. And you're not going to ask him about the Ali Act? You didn't see that clip in your research? Like, bro, the lights are good now. I'm going to be for real. I don't think I'm a great journalist. I really don't. I think I am an avid storyteller and a person who is better than most at perceiving truth. That doesn't mean I can tell a liar from an honest person. I mean, I can, because everybody lies. So you just point at anybody and they're probably lying about something. But ultimately, what I can tell you is that I have enough discernment to know that if you're going to ask me to do a job as a journalist, right, I'm going to have certain protocols. And I've done this throughout my career. When Christy Martin hired me and Ness and everybody to go and do me to go and work in a year commentating for her and doing the live streams, when they hired us to do that, I showed up every fucking day and I talked to every single one of those fighters, their trainers, their sparring partners, their brothers, their mothers, their fathers. 2 days, okay? Press conference, weigh-in, and I'm working the entire event like 4 hours every single day, literally in that moment. I'm not saying I only work 4 hours. I'm telling you 4 hours on strictly a fact gathering expedition. I did not graduate from journalism school. I didn't graduate from college at all. I went to go be a lawyer and realized, holy shit, I fucking don't want to be a lawyer. And then decided, hey, maybe I could write a book and just like make a shit ton of money and then like never have to do anything again. That's apparently that isn't a job anymore in America. So that didn't work out. And what I ended up doing was trying this hand at journalism because I could write and I was way better at reading, but I could write a little. I spent like the first 4 years trying to like accommodate for what I didn't have, right? Like I tried to be more important or more serious than I was. I wasn't myself because I felt like what I lacked in a college education, like a journalism degree, right? I could make up for with by pretending to be that guy, right? Let me wear the sweater and shit with the fucking patches and shit, right? But I read Hemingway. I actually do have I would say the equivalency to, like a pre-grad's English degree, whatever. But ultimately, I spent my time signing up at Udemy, iTunes University, Harvard.org, anywhere I could get a journalism class. And what I learned was journalism school essentially is like 90% don't cheat or don't copy or don't lie or don't burn your source, right? It's integrity, it's ethics. That's mostly what journalism is. So when it comes to being the person that does the work, either you're going to do the journalism part, the hard part, looking into boxing, looking into MMA, looking into the stuff that you don't really give a shit about or pay attention to at all, and are only doing this because CBS is telling you to, because they need the exposure after Sunday night football, or after the Sunday night afternoon game or whatever. They need that exposure. The UFC everybody needs to know that the only place to get the UFC starting in 2026 is on Paramount Plus. So how do we do it? Well, let's give them a puff piece. Let's give him 10 minutes at the end of the show when we covered all the serious news. And then let's just ask him whatever question he wants. He says, oh, well, I don't ask for the questions ahead of time. Yeah, you don't have to ask for the questions ahead of time when you're on your fucking own network. What are you talking about? I don't ask for questions. Like he was on CNN or some shit, bro. You're tripping, dog. You're tripping. You're tripping hard on yourself. You think you're going to fool boxing fans with that rhetoric you convinced MMA fans with? And here's the other part, Dana. Here's the other part. You realize that you spent a better decade creating a sport in which you divided MMA fans from boxing fans. If you were talking to a hardcore MMA fan, the likelihood is not only does he not like boxing, he hates boxing fans. Okay, and go look on social media. Go look at all the people that actually push UFC. Go look at all the people that actually push MMA. MMA Guru hates boxing. He hates it. He thought Canelo Crawford was the saddest, stupidest thing in the world. And listen, I think I very much respect his MMA takes. I don't really think he has much knowledge beyond that. And that's okay. He doesn't have to. But he was wrong about the Canelo Crawford thing. But he's been right about Dana a lot. And this is all like boiled down to this one thing. CBS, do a better job, bro. Do a better job, for real. Like, at least try to ask a question or something. And maybe you did. Maybe it got edited the way they wanted it edited. But I hate to break it to you all, but Zuffa Boxing did not get a deal. Okay? And we're going to talk about why they didn't get a deal. We're going to talk about why, if I rapped on this show right now, and then like Sports Illustrated called and they were like, dude, Mario, we want to buy Infighting FX. Oh my God, you're so great. And you cover all this stuff. And we're like, we'd love you for our Combat Sports edition. Okay, I'm going to sign with Sports Illustrated. And then I go and I tell my wife and my brother, dude, Sports Illustrated just signed me to be a rapper on their Sports Illustrated rap label. Because I rapped one time on this live stream show that I've done for 2 years on Combat Sports. But no, I'm going to call it them signing me as a rapper. How does that metaphor fit in? We're going to talk about that in a little bit. We're going to start. Oh, no, wait. We're not done. We're not done. We're going to also talk about Crawford being in trouble for being black in America. Shock. No, I think what happened was, this was all a big misunderstanding. Okay. The police accidentally saw his key to the city and thought it was an AR-15. But no, listen, it was bullshit. Terrence Crawford detained at gunpoint by police after his fucking parade for beating Canelo, bro. That's like that is the perfect metaphor for America right now. And so we got footage on that. We're gonna talk about it. It's bullshit, but you know, we gotta cover it because we cover everything. Again, no guests on today. I got the link up in the hey, what's up? I'm just gonna say AG74 because I forgot what your actual name is. I appreciate you tapping in. Hey, by the way, your live stream on Sunday was hilarious. Honestly, me and my wife are gonna start playing Hogwarts. I swear to God, you make it look so much fun. I love your live stream, so keep up the good work on you as well. But listen, if you want to jump in and talk about any of the topics for tonight, please do so. Remember, I have Raw tonight, 4 fights ATW. Please go and check it out. I will give you the recap in Mario context, which is obviously mostly just the truth, right? I'm not saying I'm like the beacon of truth. I'm just saying like I don't want to be the beacon of bullshit. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that my truth is any more truer than anyone else. I'm just saying that I have an actual desire to not be full of shit. I don't think a lot of people in this industry do. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the Crawford stuff. Let me see. Where else were we? Okay, and it's a mainly wrestling show. Okay. Oh, we're gonna talk about Glanton versus Brown and why Jake Paul's a bitch. Listen, Glanton and Brown are fighting on Wednesday on DAZN. This is a great fight. If you are a boxing fan, you should be telling your friends to watch and support this really good fight. Two Americans, one a former Olympian, fighting it out. You know, Brandon Glanton is a guy that Jake Paul should have fought. He's an American. You're giving him a chance. It's almost like a Rocky Apollo if Apollo was a YouTuber who was full of shit and basically like bought and paid for all his wins. And Rocky was like literally the complete opposite. And so like you have this situation where Jake Paul is fighting in a few months against a career lightweight, making him come up to heavyweight. And then you see all these videos of him bitching his brother Logan Paul out about why KSI won't fight him. I mean, look, I know they're clip farming. I'm not like getting overly like upset about something that's clearly bullshit. But I should though. We should though, right? Because they're gonna put this fight on with fucking Tank, and it's just ridiculous when you got guys like Brandon Glanton right there. You know, Brown right there. Let's fight him, dude. Jake, you for real? Are you for real about being a boxer? No, but I'm talking to. Hey, bro, what is that? Coughing up a frog or some shit. Like Jake, are you for real? Like your brother? And I mean that because your brother, he's for real, bro. Like I thought he was gonna be fake. I thought he was gonna be suck, dude. He's a real wrestler. I'm not saying he's the best on, pound for pound. I'm not saying he's like the best on the roster. I'm saying that he's a real wrestler, and he has shown that he can compete at the most elite level when it comes to wrestling. Maybe not win, but the most elite wrestling. Oh God, it's my niece. Hey, what's up? I'm on live and you're on speaker. Hold on. I'm on live and you're on speaker.
That was so bad.
That was really bad. Hey, call in. I'm gonna send you the link and we're gonna talk about it.
Okay. Wait, are you talking about whenever she kicked out? Like
Yeah. The what I sent you.
I got it right.
Okay, bye. My niece somehow missed my entire TikTok. By the way, you can go to Infighting FX on TikTok and check out the 10-minute breakdown. Actually, it's more like 7-minute breakdown that I did on the botch heard around the world this past Friday on SmackDown. We're going to talk about that. We're going to show it. Shout out to Bad Bunny, by the way, who is getting the Super Bowl halftime show. Shout out to the Cowboys for kissing their fucking sisters. That's the other thing. We're going to throw in, if we have time, we're going to throw in one non-combat sports topic, and it's going to be, has there ever been a team in the NFL or actually in the history of sport that was exposed more by not having a single player? this is what I believe. No one player in the NFL could ever make a difference between winning or losing a Super Bowl. Like maybe in a single game, right? But like not having a player for a season isn't going to dictate winning or losing a Super Bowl, right? You're going to win or you're going to lose that Super Bowl, whether you have that guy or not. It's just going to be that much harder, that much easier, right? But holy shit, bro. If you could say anything about the first few weeks of the NFL schedule as it relates to the Cowboys, it's that they fucked up with Micah Parsons by trading him. Now, I'm not saying they did fuck up, right? Because there's so much long-term aspects to it, right? But right now, just if like the world ended tomorrow, at this moment, God's going over all of the sports stuff in the Rolodex, and he's like, oof, man, Jerry Jones shouldn't have traded Parsons, huh? Like that's the only narrative that left. I want to know what y'all think though. Is that bullshit? Is it cap? Rex Ryan didn't seem to think so. He went hard on Jerry Jones and the Cowboys for getting rid of Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons basically won the game last night, right? Dak's running out to his left, bootlegging. By the way, he had like 4 of those for. Oh, okay. I love you, baby. Have a good run. Okay, that's cool. And so, yeah, he stopped Dak, got a shoestring tackle. It's pretty dope. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. We are going to talk about, okay, so we're going to talk about NXT this past weekend, the invasion angle, TNA, NXT are going to put on the invasion part 2. Well, it's like NXT invasion, but if you are old enough to remember or young enough and historically wise enough to remember or be aware of the invasion angle, this was the infamous angle when WWF bought WCW and they basically storylined an invasion angle where WCW came into WWF. It is one of the worst and biggest letdowns in the history of pro wrestling. And if you look at what they did, WWE, and what they did wrong, basically you're able to go back to what happened with the NWO and see why everything worked, right? Like literally you have this bookend like this. So like this war between wrestling shows started, right? The Monday Night Wars. And it's like you could say it kicked off way before this, but when did it actually become competitive, like neck and neck? And when did WCW become a powerhouse? Well, it was the night that Hogan turned, and that stemmed from the night that Scott Hall came in, right? So let's bookend it. The best invasion angle ever told, the NWO, and then all of this wrestling in the Monday Night Wars to be bookended with the worst invasion angle in the history of wrestling. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the TNA invasion angle. They are going to run Invasion NXT pay-per-view. We're getting the return of Classic Survivor Series, guys. Classic Survivor Series match. This is elimination style Survivor Series. And if Triple H or anybody in WWE Creative has been watching this show at all, they're going to have matching outfits. Mark my words, they will have matching outfits because that's the fucking best part of it. Like Doink, Dink, and Stink wouldn't have really hit as hard if they were all just like randomly wearing like, you know, like Dillard's and like Target and like Oshkosh Bagosh clothes. Like, I don't know. I don't know any other small people clothes. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Heyman Hustle playing double duty. We're going to talk about him and Lesnar and the claims that Lesnar and Heyman are going to get back together, but it was never the plan. Is that what's going on? We don't know. We're going to find out. And then Ricky Starks wins the TNA title. We're going to talk about that. Machine Gun Matt has an awesome booking after the fact that Ricky Saints won the the NXT title from Obafemi this weekend in No Mercy. And I really want to tell it and then take credit for it and everything. No, I'm just kidding. No, I really do want to talk about it tonight, but I'll be honest, we have so much going on. If we don't get to this, I'm going to save it for Matt so we can talk about it later because I think he deserves to break it down for y'all better. He was the one that figured it out, but all I'm going to say is that it does tie in to the original invasion angle, kind of like a homage to it. Great. This dude, Machine Gun Matt's just the best when it comes to wrestling. Make sure you go to Talkin' Wrasslin'. That's TalkinWrasslin. 2025, Talking Wrestling 2025. And follow Machine Gun Matt. He's super, super awesome. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for tapping in this weekend. I don't know, man. It's open. So IG is open, guys. I don't know what's going on. I can see that nobody's in there, or it says nobody's in there, but clearly people are tapped in. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. You could go to X. You could go to X. You could go to Facebook. You go to YouTube. You go to IG. I'm sorry, Twitch. I meant to say Twitch. You're already on IG. You can go to Twitch. Any of those. I'm not on TikTok today, but I usually am. So I mean, I know it sucks. You shouldn't have to go to another platform. I provide all these platforms, and I might have to take some of them out of the running at this point if they're not going to hold up their end of the bargain. I'd rather get stable views and stable communities based off of the other platforms that actually work the majority of the time, as opposed to some of these that are like, really like 50-50 every day. But anyway, TNA angle, Heyman Hustle angle, Jasmine Nix is gone from WWE, and this is like all connected. Let me tell you, I have to get somebody more tapped in than myself, right? I talked about being a journalist, right? And like one of the things I learned is learning from other journalists, right? I didn't go to journalism school. So how did I get, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm good at it. Like that's for other people to say, but like how did I gain confidence? I learned from the best. I learned from guys like, Mike Woods, and I learned from guys like Bart Berry, and I learned from guys like Kelsey McCarson. And by the way, I learned Steve Kim didn't graduate college. Like that was a huge moment for me, right? Validation. Like I should have been able to say, you know what? I'm smart no matter what. I know I read real good. All right. No, I was playing. And so like all that, but at the end of the day, it wasn't until I learned Steve Kim didn't graduate college that I was like, oh shit, like maybe I am worth something. And again, that's not the way it should work at all. You shouldn't let any other person, specifically a stranger and another man, validate you. That said, though, I was a young kid. You know what I mean? I didn't have any mentors in the game at that point. Kelsey McCarson would eventually become sort of like a mentor for me. Bart Berry would become sort of like a mentor for me. And of course Woodsy and Abe are two guys like I feel like I could call today, and I have many times, to talk about a story or like, hey, I want to cover this. I don't know how to do it. Like, and they care about me for real. I know they do. That said, though, it's a situation where I tried as hard as I could to get anybody to come on here to talk about this story that I knew that had at least a little bit of connection to NXT and WWE, and nothing. Nobody wants to talk about this at all. Jasmine Nix is claiming that NXT did not pay her $80,000. Now, we've long heard that NXT pays between, I think it's like 80 and 140K, something like that. God, my mouth is so dry. Oh, fuck. Now that you hydrated, it's time for an upper decky. I'm just playing. Damn it, dude. I didn't mean to show that. Fuck. I told my wife and my parents I wasn't going to be showing that shit no more online because I don't want, like, if kids are watching this stuff, don't put nothing in your mouth, bro. Nothing. You think a girl wants to kiss you with, you want me to show you my hole again? Huh? You want to see my baseball hole again? Keep that shit out your mouth. All right. That's for your kids. So anyway, yeah, Jasmine Nix claiming that NXT didn't pay her $80K. She left, bro. She left the company. She's gone. She dusted out. She said, bro, they ain't really paying like that. Somebody tried to check her on X. And yo, bro, I'm telling y'all right now, bro, X sucks, dog. It's so cooked. It's so cooked. Like the amount of stupid people that feel so entitled to just say shit, bro. It's crazy. It's so cooked. But anyway, somebody was like, because she was like, oh, I couldn't make WWE work. Like, I wanted to keep wrestling there, but they were like, they didn't want to pay me enough. And somebody was like, damn, how do you not make 80K work? Which, first of all, mind your own fucking business, dog. Like, you understand pocket checking makes you a bitch? Like, do you understand pocket watching in 2025 is a direct characterization of a bitch? And that makes you a bitch. And I don't know who it was because I don't care enough to learn about who's a bitch and who's not. But all I can tell you is that the person that came at her like that is a bitch. And so she bitched it back. And good for her. She was like, no, they ain't paying me no 80K. What the fuck are you talking about? You tripping, dog. I'm going to go make 80K fucking, showing my left toe to these pervs out here. And I ain't got to show my face, bro. What you talking about 80K? So like, and by the way, it wasn't about OnlyFans at all. That was a joke that I made to pretend as if like, guys are so horny. She could make like 10 times more what she made by showing literally no like actual naughty parts at all, right? I said naughty. That was weird, bro. I'm just saying naked parts. I don't know why I said that. That's crazy, bro. Don't clip that. And so, like, at the end of the day, they were like, oh, okay, well, then what was it? Like, oh, well, hold on. Let me give you my social first. So then you can verify if this is how much I get paid, right? And then here's my IRS stuff, okay? Like she's gonna just be telling us how much she makes and shit, bro. Crazy, dude. These people are fucking crazy, for real. But I appreciate it, man. It's Ninja Turtles though. Oh, my bad. Rocksteady. Okay, my bad. You misspelled the first word, but I put it together though. But I thought you were saying something else. Yeah, it's Ninja Turtles. It's a Shredder. Bad guy since 84, I think. Something like that. But I got the matching purple shorts with it, so I'm going fly today. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Cesar Duran, who is the CEO of MLW, told WWE to suck a Saudi blood covered. No, I'm just playing. He didn't say that, but he did come out on his pay-per-view this weekend in front of all the fans and called out WWE, basically saying WWE sold their biggest show to Saudi for blood money and that they're not like a real wrestling company anymore. And they're not real Americans anymore. And they're like, basically Hacksaw Jim Duggan just like, linked up with Sergeant Slaughter and what's his name? And so it's like a full heel turn for him. And then Scott D'Amore came out and wrote something like super crazy on his vlog. I don't even know what it is. Is he still blogging? Damn, that's crazy. Scott D'Amore, bro, they did him wrong. So he came out and he told the truth, bro. He was like, AEW right now has the chance to absolutely come out and capitalize. And like, I want to be very clear. I very much have enjoyed WWE's product over the last couple weeks, or actually last month or so. Not like the full product, right? AJ Styles stuff, great. Lesnar stuff, not so much. But last Raw last week was banging, bro. That was a great show. And we're gonna get to this week's SmackDown next. And that was also a great, like a decent show. It was a good show. But the feeling is out there, bro. WWE they ain't for the people, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. They're not for the people. And I'm not saying that. I'm a WWE fan. All right. You see, that's the problem is y'all want to give WWE to Triple H and Nick Khan and all them people and Ari Emanuel. Bro, they don't own WWE. I mean, yeah, they own it in terms of like being able to profit off of it. Fine. You could keep that. But bro, you don't own WWE. You don't own the memories I have. You don't own the ideas I have, the narratives I have. You don't own the continuity that I understand better than you. You do not own the product as it relates to the memories that I've created with it. You do not own the nostalgia. You can try to profit off of it. You could try to like tickle our balls with it, and hopefully we'll just like shell out $30 a month for bullshit. But you know what I mean? It ain't gonna work. And here's the thing: you can have a shitty product, but when you're charging the astronomical prices that you are, WrestleMania is going to be one of the most unaffordable tickets in the history of wrestling. I'm sorry, in the history of sports. It will be the most unaffordable ticket in the history of wrestling, beating itself, and then that beating itself, and they just beating themselves. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, something's got to give. And I think AEW is in a perfect position to sit back and say, you know what? How far has messing with WWE gotten us? This isn't a competition. And I love AEW too. I'm a huge AEW fan, but it's not a competition. I know that. And I'm more than sure AEW knows that, or Tony Khan knows that. I'm more than sure. If they don't, wow, that's scary. But I'm more than sure they do. Okay. You can't compete where WWE's at right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like That's like trying to get LeBron like right out of high school to compete with like Kobe and D Wade. Like, yeah, maybe he could like get a Sports Center highlight on the court, but he ain't playing 15 minutes in that game. What? Man, that grown man strength would be all over that kid. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor to say that there's no reason to even pretend there's a competition between a company that's been around for decades and a company that hasn't even been around for 1 decade. I think that the best thing is AEW puts themselves in a position right now where they focus on themselves and they stop focusing on what's going on over there. I know that's a really hard thing to do when the other side is competing like crazy with you, but look what's happened. They've leaned away from the direct competition bullshit, right? At least the actual in-ring stuff has. And the numbers are up. The pay-per-view numbers are up. The show's better week to week. I'm sorry, but WWE is it feels like their own worst enemy at times. You had a guy, and I'm not going to go over this story because I don't have all the details, and I don't remember who I read that wrote it, so I can't credit them. But I read this somewhere, and I hate that I can't give credit, but I'm just going to say it anyway. But you have one of the highest ranking officials for TKO. I think it was their CFO. I can't remember. Coming out and basically saying that Vince was an idiot and they disagreed with him so much and he's a moron because he was selling tickets to he was family friendly pricing, meaning that he was keeping a price range that families, hardworking families, blue collar families could afford. So before you let these kids on social media gas you up about WWE versus AEW, understand that this company is moving away from the plumbers, from the garbage men, from the construction workers, from the people that keep our entire community safe, clean, drivable, all of that. Now, those people aren't poor. All right. You got a city job. You got some benefits that end up making it so that you don't spend money the way that non-city workers spend, right? Like healthcare, like a bunch of shit, right? It's a bunch of shit. And so when you're in a position where, but when you're in a position where either you're the only one working or you got like 5, 6 kids, the dollar does not stretch it like it used to. Okay. So unless you're like working in some high rise or unless you're some lawyer or you got this fancy ass house, how are you affording to take your 5 kids to WrestleMania or to Royal Rumble or to the PLE? How? You got to tell your wife, hey, babe, I know you really don't like wrestling. I know you want to be there with the kids and stuff, but you're not really going to enjoy it. And we really can't afford another $1,200. So why don't you just sit back? Plus, that's another plane ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could sleep with all the kids in one king size bed. We ain't got to get another room. It's like, damn, dude, like now we're just like sacrificing little moments with this. Then what are we going for if we can't take the whole fam? What are we going for if we can't all enjoy this product together? So here comes AEW being able to provide a family-friendly price range. I appreciate that. Not just as a wrestling fan, right? As a man, as a human being, as an uncle who has a lot of nieces and nephews and younger cousins that he loves very much and that are wrestling fans. And man, I just don't want my cousins to have to, fucking shell out 10% of their college funds for a night at wrestling. Like that just doesn't seem right. You know what I mean? But and here's the other part. WWE's making hand over fist with money, right? Like it's not an anti-capitalism thing. This is not an anti-anything thing. This is, you made the circus to be family friendly, right? You're in the PG era still, but now you're not family friendly. Now, I mean, you're barely friendly. Like what the fuck? Anyway, we're going to talk about that as well. But we're going to get into right now SmackDown and the botch heard around the world. Now, I am going to show what happened. So, unfortunately, if you are on YouTube, this is your 2-minute warning to get off and to go into Infighting FX. Infighting Exchange spelled INFIGHTING, Infighting FX, all one word, on Facebook, IG, TikTok, X, or no, not TikTok. I'm not on TikTok right now. I'm sorry. Facebook, Twitch, X, or IG. Any one of those you can jump on right now. I'm sorry, YouTube, but I cannot afford a strike For those that were rocking with me before, you know, the channel got shadow banned. And so at the end of the day, I'm stuck in the realm that I'm stuck in. Yo, I'm live. You're on speaker. What's up?
Okay, well then I'll call you.
Oh, you guys, hold on. You got something to tell me for real? Off show? Oh, okay. I was calling you back because I was gonna see if you wanted to come through and or if you wanted me to send you the link. I didn't jump on when I sent. Okay, I will. All right, later. So anyway, yeah, I want to show this stuff. Okay, I worked really hard on this TikTok video. And I really want to show it, and I don't think that YouTube's gonna suffice or is gonna let me do that. So this is your minute warning now. I am going to copy and paste the link to let's go ahead and send it everywhere. You know what? I'm going to send a link to YouTube. So you can click the link that is going into the chat right now. It should be there already. And then once you do that, it'll take you to the show and I can let you on, or you could just listen along. All right. And by the way, this is me taking views away from myself. You understand? So the YouTube stuff, the algorithm, all that views, I lose because I'm basically putting you on my private server or my private stream. Sorry. So, you know, I'm really trying to be accommodating here because I know it's bullshit for me to close up stream on a platform, especially when I have, wow, I didn't think that anybody was on YouTube. Appreciate y'all. I really do. I just put the link on X too if anybody wants to jump in and talk about any of the things we just talked about or give their take. Shout out to the tank himself. Yeah, I'm saying Marvin, Texas's own stand up. Hey, by the way, shout out to Cruz. If you missed this past week, let me just show you a little clip of what you missed. All right. This I can't show on YouTube. So let me just show y'all a clip of this past Friday's live stream where we watched our boy. All right, our boy with the W. Listen to this. My man Cruz, all right, who used to fight TBV, novice, has not fought in over 5 years. Signed up to go to the UK from the from the DFW area, Dallas Fort Worth area. And he flew overseas to the UK and he fought a man he never met before. A guy who's been training every day for the last 5 years that he been sitting on the couch. My man Cruz got up and he went and he won, bro. So that's shout out to him first and foremost. Second of all, shout out to my boy Doomy, who was big time on the stream. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. Let me just show y'all a clip from it.
On this matter of fact.
Yeah, put the volume on.
Rounds. Your referee scores this bout 29 points to 28 in favor of your winner.
It's about to get loud.
Corner.
Yeah, baby! Let's fucking go!
E-Dub in the building!
Fucking Texas stand up!
Representing from across the way. Shout out Dallas, Texas. Shout out Texas. Big state vibes.
Hey, man, listen to me right now. When you fuck with Texas, this is what happens. All right? Are you watching Ireland? Are you watching Scotland, EU? You want any more, Cruz? Fuck that boy. I don't even know where homeboy's from. I don't even know where. Oh man, we had a good time. Shout out to Doomy, man. Shout out to everybody who got to tap in with us. That was really, really fun. Had a great time. Cruz, so proud of you, big dog. And you know you're going to come on. Like, you're definitely going to come on. I'm going to keep bothering you until you come on because we got to find out what it was all about. Because I don't know, maybe your boy goes overseas. I don't think the UK's ever seen a left like mine. Have they? Have they? Here, let me show y'all a clip when I knock down Show Kid. No, I'm playing. We ain't going to watch it again. We watched it a lot. All right. So YouTube, I love y'all so much. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the comments already. Hey, we're going to be rocking tomorrow for an hour on YouTube before we switch off. But this is the time now we're about to switch off. So, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's it. 3, 2, 1. You are removed. I am very, very sorry.